Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel Moxie DIY in Java. I'm Michelle. Today's video is all about gingerbread, so grab your cup of coffee or your favorite beverage and join me. To start this DIY, we're going to take these two arrow signs and remove the hangers. Now these are attached with staples, so we're going to use a sanding block and just sand all the rough parts. Now I've already done this on one side, and I'm just going to show you how I do it on this other side. And I will be using not only wood glue, but also brad nails as well. While the glue is still wet, I'm going to insert the brad nails and then let everything dry. Once it is, I'm going to use this Waverly Antique Wax for only the fronts of our now houses. And then on the inside and the tiers of the tray, we're going to paint it with a really nice creamy white color. And I get that by using white paint with a couple drops of brown. Once I have all the big parts painted, I'm now going to paint the edges of our houses. And to keep it kind of nicer looking, I'm going to use the side of my brush and also do a flicking motion where I go from the back of the piece and flick forwards. I hope that makes sense. And this is, for me at least, has been an easier way to get a cleaner edge without having to use tape. Now that everything is dry, we're going to use these decals that I got from Walmart. And yes, they are $4.98, but it is for 8 to 10 decals, and we're only going to use 2 of them. So I picked out my favorite houses, and we're going to use Mod Podge to apply it because they are window decals. They're not going to stick to the wood by themselves, so they need a little help. So we're going to apply a thin layer of Mod Podge, let them dry completely, and then we'll move on. Now I chose to include this DIY as the 5 under 5 because I did have everything on hand, and most of it I had before Dollar Tree did raise their prices. But if you were to do this from scratch without having any of this stuff on hand, it probably would cost you around $5 to $5.25. Now that everything is dry, I'm going to tack those overhangs with my nail file. I love this one. It comes from the Dollar Tree. It's in a pack of 2, and I think it's called the Diamond Nail File. And it's one of my favorites for small projects like these. One of the final steps is to seal everything with this satin clear spray paint. Now I don't show it in the video, but I felt like the house needed a little something, so I took my puff paint and added some snowfall to the windows and the roofs. This is a super easy DIY. I just found this mini scale in the kids section of the Bullseye Playground at Target, and I'm literally just going to paint everything with my matte black spray paint. And that's it. Isn't it cute? I kind of gave some hints before, but this is part of the 5 under $5 DIY challenge, and it is hosted by my dear friends Missy from the Crafty Cove DIY and Emily from Farm Charm Chic. These two ladies are so incredibly talented and so very nice, so please go and check out their channels. And our guest host for the month is Sharon from Grace's neighbor Sharon, and she's also super talented, so please go check out all their channels. I will have everything listed down below, and my video along with many others are going to be in the playlist, which will also be linked down below, so be sure to check it out. To start this DIY, I painted this mini terracotta pot brown, and I also created a ball out of some craft clay by Crayola. And all we're going to do is paint everything brown. Now, I originally got this idea from a picture I saw, and I looked high and low for this picture so that I could give credit to the person who originally created it, but I could not find it anywhere. I looked in Pinterest, and I also looked on Instagram, which is usually where I get my inspiration from, and I couldn't find it. So if you know who the original creator of this was, please be sure to comment down below and let me know. But all I'm going to do now is just embellish our boy's shirt with my white paint marker. Now this is the one from Dollar Tree. It's my favorite. It goes on so smooth, and it's really, really good coverage. So what I'm doing is I'm making curly Q S's going front and curly Q backwards S's. And then I'm also using dots and dashes and just whatever looks right to me. Next, we're going to create his arms and legs, and these are beads that are from the Walmart set of, I think it was like 180 beads and some baker's twine. So we're going to use this darning needle. I love to use this whenever I'm making garlands or using beads, and it just helps make it a little easier to thread them on. So I'm going to use 2 large beads and 1 small bead for his arms and hands, and then for his legs I'm going to use 3 large beads and 1 small bead. Now I also made a gingerbread girl, and I followed the exact same steps with her that I do with him. Now that everything is beaded, we're going to make simple knots on the ends where the smallest beads are. And this is just going to help keep everything on this twine. And to give it a little bit more security, I'm going to put some hot glue right above that knot and then push the smallest bead into that glue. Now we're going to attach his arms, and we're going to place the loose ends of the twine through the hole of the terracotta pot, but we don't want to pull the string too hard because we want to save enough room for his head and also so that way his arms can hang at his sides. So there's probably about a 1/2 inch of twine at the top. Here I'm tying a simple knot, and then I'm going to top it off with some hot glue and scrap paper to lock it in place. Now for his legs, I'm making mine to be shelf sitters, so I want their legs to dangle. So I'm allowing a little bit of extra twine at the base of his shirt. So that's what I'm doing. If you don't want it to be a shelf sitter and you just want the legs to stick out, you can pull the twine a little tighter. And once again, I'm putting a bead of glue where the twine is, and I'm going to lock it in place with some scrap paper. Now moving on to his face, I'm going to do a combination of the white paint marker that I used earlier and a black Sharpie. And the reason I do this is that it creates a little bit more dimension to his face. I'm just doing eyes and a mouth, but to me, I think it kind of makes his features pop a little more. Now we're making his bow tie, and I create the girl's bow the exact same way. We're going to make a tube out of the ribbon, and this ribbon I got from the Dollar Tree. Because the ribbon is so thin, the glue, when you press down hard while it's still hot, actually connects both sides of the ribbon, which is perfect for what we want. Now to create the look of the bow, I'm almost making the top of a heart, essentially, and then I flip the ribbon over and I do the exact same thing on the other side, making sure that the two middles kind of meet up. And it ends up making a really cute looking bow tie for him and a hair bow for her. If you've been liking what you've been seeing so far, I hope that you'll consider giving my video a thumbs up and also subscribing to my channel. It's free and I have a lot of fun with my subscribers and I love talking to all of you. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I am so thankful that you're here. Now before we put on his bow, we need to give him a collar. So I'm just going to use this puff paint and go all around the base of his neck. To make his hair, I'm going to use the same puff paint and literally just glob it on. And I want it to look like icing. So I make it go down in certain areas and swoop in other areas, just whatever's pleasing to my eye. Then to create the eyelashes on him, I just take my Sharpie and I almost continue the bottom of the circle and flick out. And here he is. Isn't he so dapper? I love it. And then this is his little lady, and I did the same thing with her hair, and as you can see, her ribbon is the same as his bow tie. And I used yarn to create the little bows on her shoulders and just embellished her dress the way I thought a little girl gingerbread would. I found this set at Joann's last year at the after Christmas sale and it was 90% off, so I paid around $2 for it. And I love the Nutcracker. I was a ballerina when I was younger and danced in the Nutcracker for many years, and so the Nutcracker holds a very special place in my heart. But I am not a very good painter, especially when it comes to small things, so I was racking my brain trying to think of how I was going to pull this off, and it came to me, make them gingerbread figures. So I painted each and every one of them brown, and I did a dry brush of white on top to make it look like powdered sugar. This DIY is all over Instagram and I had to try my hand at it. So this is just a brand new, that's the key, toilet brush from the Dollar Tree. And I'm using my heavy duty tin snips to remove it from the handle. And then from there, sky's the limit. You can make this tree as tall as you want, or if you can make 2 short trees, or you can make 1 taller tree, 1 short tree, whatever you want. So I wanted mine to be about even because of what I'm going to be using them for. And then all it takes is just some trimming, and I'm literally just tapering it into the top, and that's it. And you can spray paint these, you can make them any color that you want. I'm keeping mine white, but I do add some puff paint at the end to add some glitter and some texture to the edges. My trees are now trimmed, and now I'm going to add them to these adorable little jars that I got from the Bon Maman Advent Calendar. I think I'm saying that right. It's really cool because you get a bunch of really delicious jellies every day of Advent, and it's like the Jelly of the Month Club. Anyway, these had the expiration date on the sides, and I could not remove it with rubbing alcohol or with acetone, so I'm just going to cover up with this really pretty glittered ribbon. I think I got it from the Dollar Tree. And then I didn't want to do anything permanent to the jars, so I'm just layering the same ribbon on the inside and using a foam ball to keep our trees upright. These are some wooden star beads I had on hand and thought they would go great with our theme. Okay, it's time for final looks. I would love to know which one is your favorite. It is really hard for me to pick at this point. I fell in love with so many of these. I'm really happy with how the tiered tray turned out, but I really love the gingerbread nutcracker suite and also the gingerbread couple, so it's really hard for me to pick. And I also loved the scale. I don't know. Comment down below and let me know which one's your favorite. As always, I'm so thankful that you took your time out of your day to watch my video and to hang out with me. And until I see you in the next one, take care.